What I want to do today is just share some of the key tips, 5 handy tips that I wish I'd known when I started watch collecting and that I use now to keep me on the straight and narrow, stop me getting carried away, stop me making some of the mistakes I may have made in the early days, and share those with you because we're all on a very similar journey, and I think each of you will have experienced one or more of these. Join me on a watch collecting journey as I experiment and learn as I go along. It's coming up to 2 years now. Each and every one of you will find some benefit from one or more of these tips. So as a watch collector, especially when you start out, you become obsessed by the rapid accumulation of knowledge, seeking out that new movement, that new watch. It can become a little bit overwhelming, and even when you've decided on something, another watch catches your eye, and it's very dangerous. That could prove very costly in the short run and long run. So I've been a victim of this. Just one example, I had to write them down because there was a period last year where in the space of 3 days I was looking at the Baltic Aquasaf, a King Seiko, a Breitling Navitimer, a Breitling Avenger 42mm, the new Nevada Grenchen, a Damasco DS30, endless watches from Christopher Ward, and a Saab 33. My advice would be, and here's the key tip, just take 2 weeks. You've got these watches in your mind, take 2 weeks and just see after that 2-week period how many of them you still think about. This has worked very well for me. There are very few of those watches that I was thinking about 2 weeks later, and a couple of them did come back into my mind. I couldn't get them out of my mind. That was the King Seiko, which I did end up purchasing, and the Baltic Aquasaf as well. But it certainly was a good way of weeding out the others. Oh, by the way, can you just, if you like these videos, can you just subscribe and like and share the videos? It takes a few seconds, costs nothing, but it does help the channel. Thanks. The next tip, think about how this watch, your next watch, will fit into your existing collection and how you will actually use it. Here in the UK, we have terrible weather, diabolical. It's rained for the last 5 months and it's been freezing. So we really need watches that are going to fit under a cuff for half of the year. Is it really worth having a dozen thick, chunky dive watches when realistically you're only going to wear them 3 or 4 months of the year? So think about that. Think how a new watch will fit in to where you live, where you work, what you actually wear, before just rushing out and spending a fortune on something that looks nice. Try it on if you can. I know there's all of these watches online on eBay, and you love the look of them and you think, I've got to have that. But if possible, try it on. How does it wear? How does it actually wear? And you can't discover that based purely on the case size. There's a lot of factors. I'm going to do a video about this one topic at some point. But a watch, if you have a look at a couple of examples, my 39mm King Seiko, Grand Seiko, on the face of it would seem to be the perfect size, but it wears quite flat, as you'll see in this. Notice how it sits quite high off the wrist, even though it's a smaller case size, and the lugs protrude slightly. Now if we compare that with larger watches, so my Sari 57 is a 41mm case, but because the lugs hug the wrist, as we'll see. That wears much better. An even bigger watch, the Seiko Monster Antarctic Edition, Antarctica, that is 43mm, and again, because of the case shape, it just hugs the wrist perfectly. So you can't base your decision on case size, how you think it'll wear. There's a lot of vintage style watches that wear quite flat and the lugs can protrude a little bit over the wrist. So try to wear a watch before you buy it if you can. Another key point, there's actually no rush. We all know that we shouldn't stretch ourselves or go bankrupt trying to buy that dream watch. But the watches I was thinking about in 2022 were superseded in 2023. Who knew that the Citizen Ciosa with the blue Fume dial would come out last year? I loved that when I saw it. In 2022 it didn't exist. And these things are happening all the time. If you wait, who knows what'll come out? Nevada Grenchen. I'd never seen the F77 until last year. And now that piece is available. And it's a beauty. So there's never a rush. You can always wait and see what's going to come out. And finally, this is a key point. If you look at your existing collection, whether it's 5 watches, 10 watches, 30 watches, each one of those watches represented the next fix for you at the time. You'd researched it, you'd looked into it, you loved it, you were itching to get your hands on it, and no sooner had you got your hands on it than you were back on the classifieds, looking, searching. It's an addiction, really. But just remember, a good way to keep yourself in check and balance your collection, remain sane, is to occasionally just stop and think, right, well, I love this particular watch, but each one of these watches that I already have was a previous fix at some point. Now, the way I manage that is I make sure that I wear everything, and I'm becoming more brutal with the watches that perhaps aren't as good as others, don't fit as well, don't wear as well, the ones that I put back in the box. There's a few examples you'll see in my State of the Collection later this year. You will possibly be quite surprised at some of the watches I've got rid of, because others suit me, suit my style, suit my needs much more, and the others go. And that will happen with any other watch you buy. So just remember that there's no rush. Every new watch that you're fixated on, this has happened plenty of times before, and there's no need to dash out and immediately acquire that. So I hope this little video has provided some thought-provoking insights into what I've gleaned over the last couple of years. It's just 5 there. There's no rush. Every watch you already have was a fix, the next fix at one point. Okay, so until next time, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the videos and share them. I think I'm going to hit 1,000 subscribers very soon, and all of you are part of that first 1,000.